Okay then guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we are going to have a look at the maintenance that you need to do on, or maybe not need, maybe maintenance you should do on the LCP Mark II. Now, this little pistol I have been running in what has become one of my funniest, well, not funniest, I suppose funny is the perception of the beholder, but one of my funnest kind of things I've been running over the last couple of months, which is my Colin the Caterpillar or Colin the Gatterpillar build. This is a non-blowback pistol. Now, my concern with a non-blowback pistol was how to maintain it or what to do with it if something goes wrong. So I've been having a fiddle with it and figuring out what works best, and then decided I would show you guys what I've found along the way. Now remember, all of my advice is from a person who's new to Airsoft and wanting to figure things out or help out local people. Help out people who are doing Airsoft who are in the same situation as myself. So first of all, you're just going to take the front screw out like usual. Now you will notice if you have an LCP Mark II at home, your upper slide may look completely different, and that is because this slide is an aftermarket one made by Hadron Designs. It just allows you to have a top-down hop-up, which is that little screw at the top, and a threaded outer barrel for suppressors, or silencers, or whatever you would like to call them. Now, once you open it up, it's pretty simple on the inside. So you have your safety plate here. This has no other job other than to make the safety work, so we can take that out of the way for now. We then have the hammer on the back here, which is the thing that's going to actually strike the back of the magazine. And then we have some moving parts at the front and back here, but these have a specific job. Because what they do is, if I grab a magazine, they actuate this little device, so to speak, on the side of the magazine and slide this back and forwards while you're firing the pistol. Let me see if I can move my hands out of the way there so you can see better. To push BBs into the hop unit of the pistol and then making a nice seal before it strikes the back of the magazine. So, first things first, I personally am using the same type of lubrication I use on most of my stuff, which is silicone, sorry about the chair noise, which is silicone gun oil. I use this for most things and I've yet to be let down by it. Now, I know a lot of people say use this for this, this for this, this for this. I've yet to run into an issue where I needed to buy something specific because what I had done caused a problem. So again, taking that with a pinch of salt. Obviously, if you do this with yours and you do have an issue, let me know and then I can change the video if needs be. So first things first, there's moving components underneath the barrel and there's moving components at the back, there's moving components in the side. So what I've done is if you push backwards on the hammer, so if you try and pull the trigger more than once with no magazine or no slide on, it doesn't work. So if you push gently back on the hammer here, that loads it into place. And what we're able to do is I end up lubricating this end part here, hopefully you can see, as that has some inner workings there. Okay, and then I pull back gently on here and hold it with my thumb, and I lube just, oh there we go, let's see if we can get it looking there, just at the base of it on that side too. Okay, or I can try and pull it back a little bit further with the trigger there if you can't see. So just lubing down right in there. So that means all of the back parts which are doing their job are going to be moving freely at all times. Now next thing is the trigger. Now there's a bar that goes across sideways on the inside. Now I don't think lubricating that is going to have a massive effect on the operation of the pistol. However, I do think that this section here, almost, there you go, let me see if I can show it to you. This section here, these moving bits here, I think if you get rubbish in there or there's excess wear, maybe that's going to cause an issue. So I would probably also suggest just popping a little bit in there. Probably, if I can try and show you, there's like a little metal block right there, which moves backwards and forwards, has lots of pieces on it. I would say probably a little bit of lubrication on there as well. Now we are talking about heavy usage, so if you're using this on most game weekends as your backup and you're really putting it through its paces, then that is what this maintenance guide's really for. So where to pop a little bit of lubricant to do it properly. I wouldn't do this all the time, and the reason for that is obviously with the slide on top. Let me put the safety plate back in. Again, you don't have to do much with this. This is just the safety. Can technically leave this out completely and the gun still, the replica still works. Let me just pop it back on properly if I can. There we go. No, that's still not on properly. There we go. So if I stick the slide back on, while the slide does cover 99.9% of the inner workings and obviously the end of the riff showing quite nicely there without any gaps, my concern is if you do overlube this or put too much in the way of gun grease or anything like that, whatever you're using at home, my concern would be you're going to get lots of grit and rubbish, especially if you're sticking mags in. So imagine if your mags have got rubbish or dirt or grit on the top. My concern would be is as you're sticking them in, if I kind of show you here, that then mates and directly contacts the rest kind of the pistol itself. Oh, there you go. I didn't realise you could fire it without the slide on top. Does not work, however, for... oh, maybe that does. Maybe this... no, I was wrong. I was wrong, everybody. The safety plate is also that little mechanism that pushes this backwards and forwards. I've learned something new because I never played with this while it was out of the packaging. It is obviously empty. There's nothing in it. There's probably only a little bit of gas left over from my last gaming weekend. So you can see there the actual full working of the gun there. So you can see all the way back there's a hole at the top where a BB would feed in. You're pulling forwards, that puts the chamber closed. Okay, you're firing and then going again, firing, going again, firing, going again. I'm guessing I've run out of gas at this point, but that is quite amazing. So there you go. That's actually giving me better perspective on this entire thing now for you guys to also see at home. For any of you that started watching this video and was like, he has no idea what he's doing, it's because I didn't, and I figured it out at the end. And that's the whole point of these videos, is for us to explore together. I didn't actually realise that. I just thought that was the safety, because if you have a look here, the only thing I'd really seen this do, because I didn't have a magazine in, is if you push up on this little tab here, that goes up, and then if you put the bar back on, you can't go anywhere because the safety's in the way. So I mean, it can if you really squeeze the trigger. I think this will probably break, but interesting. I did not know that at all. Fantastic. That would explain why sometimes it's been quite hard to put this bit back on as well, because there's a little guide that holds everything in place quite nicely there. Amazing. I'm just talking to myself now at this point. Now, other than that, have I run into any operational problems on this? No. The only thing I do dislike, but I understand it's there as a safety feature, so I'm not going to tamper with it, is I have found a couple of times in matches my finger was slipping, or I wasn't quite holding on to things, and I wasn't holding, my gloves were not telling me as much information I needed, and it is very obvious on this that unless your finger is all the way over the front, you're going to get hooked up on something. Let me push this back down. So you are going to get hooked up on something here because of this small piece in the middle. I get it's there for safety, but and I suppose, yeah, it's actually probably a good thing, because obviously if you're messing about and you're not fully depressing it, I can't seem to get it to do it now. But I was having a few moments where this wasn't depressing properly, either that or I might have been catching it on something, because there was a lot of fabric inside a column, the caterpillar, that might have been it too. I was having issues with that too, but otherwise, maintenance-wise, that's it really. Lube up those spaces. Stick this back on. I'm going to grab another mag that's got some gas in it just to make sure this works. Make sure we're all straight and narrow. Perfect. That's so much louder when it's got the actual slide on it comparative to when it's not, which is amazing. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys know how I get on with this for the next couple of months. It has been an absolute blast to use so far. I am looking at the HPA kit for this as well, so potentially at some point you may see me run this fully HPA'd, with a sight on it. So I'm... There is apparently a mod you can do where you can have something plugged into the bottom, it can go up and around, and you can have a Picatinny mount sight on the top. I've seen some pictures online, so I'm going to go and find that. And I may run this for an entire game day just as poops and giggles, really, just to run it on HPA for some fun. Anyways, that's me all done. Hopefully you guys have found this video at least 5% useful and not just the ramblings of a madman, and I will catch you in the next one.